what sets the tone for our discussion this morning, the Maina's reinstatement and controversy. Just to remind you that you can be a part of this discussion by contributing by SMS or interacting with us via our various social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, using the hashtag Galaxy Today, or send an SMS on the numbers now scrolling on your screen.
All right, of course, we have also in the studio, we have Barrister Dekunle Ojo, who is a former chairman, Nigeria Bar Association, Ikeja branch. Good morning and welcome to Galaxy Today.
Good morning. Happy to be with you this morning.
Okay, so Barrister, we're looking at Maina's reinstatement and the controversies around it. According to Oyoita, she's not aware of the reinstatement and backed up by the federal government accountant, saying that he was last paid salary in March 2013. What's your opinion about this?
Well, let me say that the Maina saga has actually brought into focus some few things, and I regard them as extremely important. Number one, it has shown that accountability is at the lowest ebb in Nigeria, meaning that the only body that appears to be doing the yeoman's job now is the press. I give kudos to the press, because otherwise perhaps nobody would have said anything. The man came back into this country, he resumed, he started working. Nobody was saying anything until Premium Times spoke. And having blown the entire thing open, it came into the public domain and all of us could now contribute. It wasn't until then. Perhaps, if not for that, no one will have said anything. That's number one. And number two, it actually shows how much lip services we pay into security in this country. If a man could walk in, walk out, and come in at will, having 3 passports. I heard the immigration man talking about 3 passports. How come? Is he a diplomat? If he asks dual citizenship, meaning he's a citizen of Nigeria, you can as well acquire just one, not more than one. So in essence, you can't have more than 2 passports.
But how come you're saying that having 3 passports?
Yeah, well, maybe perhaps it's a diplomatic, but I wouldn't know him to be a diplomat. That's the truth. So these are questions that we actually needed to. That's another area of importance. Then number 3, I will tell you, with what has happened, it will appear that every Nigerian has a price. Pay him, you will have your way. These are things that I found out in this. And lastly, is it like the Yoruba will say that distinguishing ant denies, distinguishing bees denies, yet the eye of the farmer is swollen. Somebody somewhere must have attacked him. Everyone seems to be saying we don't know anything about it, and it smacks of elitist hypocrisy. You all know about it. All of them that have spoken one way or the other, they have a role to play. Maybe except perhaps maybe the Minister of Finance will say, well, the last time it was paid, as far as I'm concerned, was 2013.
Although
but
the
for
lawyer is saying something differently.
Yes, but for every other, yes, that needs to be proved, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, it will appear to that Maina is not on the silent side. He's been speaking, and he has his own strategies too. He's been saying a lot of things. A few of them have been corroborated. Few of them appear quite bogus and unfathomable. But basically, he has said certain things that are quite worthy of being investigated.
Let's still talk about the immigration. I still understand. Fine, he has 3 passports. That is one issue. Maina was actually wanted, but how could he have just passed through borders without any clear record in the immigration? It's something that just skips. I don't really understand.
If we see the way things work in this country, that's more reason why I say everyone could be bought. Almost everyone. It's only when they try to pay you and you reject, it's only then that I will know that you cannot be bought. Because if you look at it so well, the DSS DG or whoever came out to say, yes, we gave him security. It will mean that this man had security before he left Nigeria. He had that security attached to him while he was out of Nigeria, and he had the same set of security attached to him when he came back into Nigeria. And when he had to leave again, if he has left, because I wouldn't know if he's still within Nigeria or outside Nigeria. It will mean he has it. And in this era of DSS fighting NI, EFCC, NIS, and all whatnot, who knows what? So because it will appear that if a man comes around with a barrage of security people around him, I doubt if the custom people will be able to stop him in any way. But having said that much, the custom man has not come to, he has not explained to us how the man came into Nigeria, how he left. It means anyone can, that's why I say our security appears to be at the very lowest ebb. Anyone can come in at will and go out at will. So what is your job? So it means that we are I mean, to be fair with ourselves, our security appears to be in the hands of God.
But in all of this, I still am trying to wrap my head around the fact that the head of service, who is actually the head of the civil servant, is not even aware of his reinstatement, and she was saying that all correspondence had to pass through the Federal Civil Service Commission and the Ministry of Interior. But how can this be, really? Well,
my problem really with her is this. I said something. I could see some high-wired hypocrisy in all of this. You can as well, if it's not hypocrisy, then you can as well attribute it to people who are lackadaisical about their duty. With due respect to the head of service, as far as I'm concerned, she cannot claim to be clean in this wise. When it happened, letters were sent to you. We are not aware that you made any formal response to some of these letters. If you ever did, let us have it. And unfortunately, you said at a point you had a chance talking to the president about it. And we said, Mr. President, this is what is going on. That is least expected of you. If a formal letter has been sent to you, with due respect, you should have formally responded, or at least sent a letter to the president to say, look, this is what is going. If you feel so strongly about the anti-corruption matter of the government, you should have done more than this. But as far as I am concerned, every man in Nigeria, as far as this day is concerned, has a price and they could be paid. And I want to believe that almost everyone that Maina had to meet on the way were made to give him access. Perhaps he must have paid his way through all of this. But how do you imagine that, with due respect, my good friend, the Attorney General, cannot claim to be above board in this way. He wrote series of letters, not only one, not two, about 3 letters. And that's a man who is supposed to be a fugitive. That's a man who is supposed to be wanted. The moment a man is declared wanted, it even be used on all of us, even as private individuals. Whenever we have information or we are able to locate such person, we should, in fact, we even have powers to arrest such person. Because also, oh, Mr. Maina, they are looking for you, you hold him by his trousers. But unfortunately, everyone seems to be saying, okay, look, let him go. So it means that, no, that's the truth. And it has, when people like Fayose comes out to say, look, this thing, we are not sincere about it. These are part of the attributes of insincerity. How else do you want to show us that? In fact, I never feel much more disturbed than this, since this anti-corruption crusade of this regime started, or this because it's marks of hypocrisy.
Okay, but wait, as a barrister now, would you say that there's a loophole in the system? Because if truly, by what she claims that she was not aware and was never in any meeting, and that she claims that it's an illegal move, what exactly can you say?
So?
I mean, Oyota saying that she's not aware of his reinstatement. Now, looking at the system as a whole, do you not think that there's a loophole somewhere? Maybe there's some kind of weakness, or probably there's a miscommunication, or something wrong somewhere?
No. There is no fear for fear. There is no loophole. There is no miscommunication. What I could see is conspiracy. Okay. There is conspiracy. Letters got to you. Your allegation now is that you were merely copied. Even if you are copied and being the head of service, and you are that sincere about the integrity of this administration, and you feel so much about the fact that things must be done properly, you as the head of service, you You knew, just like so many other people, that look, this man has been declared wanted. If he has been declared wanted, at what point has this ban, has this toga of a wanted person be taken off him? It hasn't happened. If that happened, what did you do? It's not an oversight. It's not an oversight. If he calls it oversight, then I will tell her it amounts to dereliction of duty. It can't be an oversight. It can't be misinformation. I would rather see it as part of this conspiracy within the elites in the society. Oh, it's Maina, yes, he has got so much, he has got so many friends. He has friends in all of these places. Okay. How can I be assured? How can I be reassured that the head of service is not his friend? How do you want to convince me that the Attorney General is not his friend? They all work for him.
But the thing is that
even the DSS person worked for him.
No, he was provided security. We are well aware of that. But what I don't get right now is that ordinarily, what's the place or the role of the office of the what's it called, the Attorney General in this whole saga? Because he said he had refused to assent to the final copy of the controversial letter of reinstatement because he had his reservations and only asked that it will be kept in view for further investigation. What is the role of his office in all of this?
Well, I think basically the office of the Attorney General of the Federation jumped the gun. They had no role, simpliciter, in whether Maina will be reinstated or not. They are not, the office of the Attorney General of the Federation is not a coordinating office, a coordinating ministry for all the other ministries or even the office of the head of service. It's when there are situations arise that people are coming to you to say, look, give us an advice on a particular, it can't even be at your prompting. It must be somebody moving first. That is perhaps a minister. Okay. It could be minister of finance or whatever that is asking, or the interior minister asking questions. Look, this is what has happened. These are all the papers that we have. This is what Mr. Maina's lawyer, these are the correspondences from Mr. Maina's lawyer. Can you please give us an advice? It's only then that the office of the Attorney General could rise up and say, look, this is our opinion about it. And it stops at the level of opinion. You cannot even request that a man should be reinstated. And beyond that, the cases that we're talking about, yes, Maina has not been given a clean slate by anyone. Okay. He has not been he was never given a clean slate by anyone. At a point, he was summoned by the Senate. By the Senate or the House of the National Assembly. I can't recollect which of the arms, but whichever way he was summoned, and he went to court and he said, well, the proper procedure was not followed, and the court said, yes, you summoned him, but the procedure adopted was irregular, therefore it was nullified. And they said, well, that does not, the man even had the caveat that doesn't stop you from summoning him properly. How does that amount to a declaration of innocence? No, I can't find that. And for the fact that all you needed to do is having gotten the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, having received a correspondent in that wise, they ought to, because the EFCC, whether we like it or not, seems to be part of the office of the Attorney General of the Federation. They work together. That's the truth. Because all these prosecutorial agencies are supposed to be working at tandem with the office of the Federal Attorney General of the Attorney General of the Federation. Having done that, you're supposed to get to them, ask them questions. How about this man? What has happened? What has not happened? But unfortunately, no one did that. All that we got was letter from the office of the Attorney General, and it's unfortunate that it was signed by the Federal Attorney General himself. It's unfortunate because he has jumped the gun. That's the truth. And you see, you see, beyond this, what I expect people to do is come into the open, apologize to Nigerians. This is what we did. We did it. It was wrong. But you can't continue to make excuses. But
would that ever be the case? They come out and apologize and take responsibilities for their actions?
Well, in a claim where things are better done, people will come out and apologize.
And even resign.
Yeah, and resign. Because basically, you see what has happened is quite unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And if the anti-corruption crusade got to 50%, this very event has brought it down to 20%.
Okay.
In my own mind, and I know several Nigerians are beginning to ask questions. If this could happen, then several others must have happened. Like I said earlier, if not for Premium Times, no one would have heard anything. We were even told that the man has treated about 20 files. I wouldn't know how
26 files.
26. I wouldn't know how correct that is. But then nobody has come out to say, look, he never treated any file.
Okay, but would we, in all this, from the eye of the law, is it a criminal case? Because I think that yes, it could come out to apologize and probably resign after all. But you think there won't be a trial in court after all this?
Well, it depends to determine whether a man is on the wrong side of the law. The facts ought to be put together. Yeah, letters were written in his capacity as so person. The letter, as at when you wrote, does it amount to a mere abuse of your office, or does it amount to a crime? If it doesn't amount to a crime, then why must he be tried? Okay. But if it amounts to an abuse of your office, he owes the duty to every Nigerian to say, I am sorry, I did this. Even the other people that are involved, they owe that duty to come around and say, we are sorry, we did this, and in view of this, we tender our resignation.
And this is legal.
Yeah, that's proper. That's a proper thing to do.
Okay.
In a better climate, that's the best thing any man can just do. People have been shying away from the reality. In fact, questions were asked a few days back that the president even ought to say something about it. And I sincerely believe that he should say something. Yes, other than the fact that he ordered immediate sack. You see, having ordered a resack now, I won't even say, which is even wrong in itself, because basically, you can't sack a man by fiat. You can't sack a man just by a mere directive of the president. That's wrong. Then number two, if a man was sacked before, how do you order a sack again?
Which means he's been reinstated.
All of these things, all of these things are for a good number of us, the smarts of some absurdities. Certain things just did not happen the way it should. It happened, and it's now putting even the president on the hot seat. He needs to answer some questions. He needs to make clarifications. He needs to let Nigerians know that he's serious as ever in his commitment against corruption. Otherwise, a good number of us are beginning to lose. That's the truth. I actually believed him. And I see, my question is this: if Buhari failed in doing this, the man that is reputed, that we all know that has some level of integrity attached to his name, if he failed, then how are we sure anybody will do it right in Nigeria? So he needs to come out and reassure us that yes, it's really against what has happened.
Okay. All right, it's still Galaxy.